150 pounds, but it's still a bear, and you have to remember this was a point in time when the average person in Japan was 5'1" or shorter, and usually topped out about the same size as the dog.
Great, Ray, save me some.
This is also Japan. The houses, even in the mountainous region, had a somewhat strong outer layer, but it was still fairly thin wood, and the interior walls were paper. And if you had a bear in the mountains decide it was going to come into your house and eat your pantry, and possibly you, there wasn't a lot you could do about it other than run.
Yep.
I want to say something for now.
She's looking for escape routes. That's why we closed the door and why I'm standing up to follow her around.
She loves treats, but she can probably smell the bacon from the buffet.
What? Bacon?
Bacon.
Candy, you said that.
I've been married 23 years. I know it's me and Candy.
Yeah.
Forget about this old Chanel No. 5.
Just
all this stuff. Just bacon. Put a little behind your ears and we'll follow you forever.
We actually just found there's a food distributor in our area that has a little outlet store that the public can buy the bulk stuff that the restaurants
Bacon
do.
in bulk.
We just got a 15-pound box of bacon.
Not 15 pounds anymore.
No, you're right, man candy. But anyway, back to the fuzzy puppies. They were used to hunt for a single, if you just had a single Akita, they would keep the bear off your property, out of your house, from eating you and your children. And they would also track down the animals and help you corner them, so then the samurai could actually take down the bear, and then you had bear meat for dinner. Kind of like bacon, but...
Bear bacon?
Bear bacon.
Snake it.
Oh. So, as what they figured out though, because that was still kind of dangerous. You have a dog keeping the bear cornered that's now angry while you're trying to poke it with a stick. So what they figured out is if they had two Akitas, the two Akitas could actually take care of bringing the bear down themselves, and then your job was just clean up. Now, throughout history, unfortunately, the Akitas were also an animal that was hunted for their furs, similar to wolf hides. That is still a trade worldwide. But the Akita, that thick pelt for the mountain people, they would use those skins for clothing and to stay warm. But again, at that point, that was pretty much the feral animals that were adults and still acted like a wolf pack and took down animals that they were trying to raise. Now, as we come forwards in history a little bit, yes?
You didn't tell them about what else they used to hunt.
Birds, deer, and bear.
There was more than that.
That's where I was going.
Oh, are you? The guy, I'm skipping the foreplay. We're going right to the...
So, what Dad's all excited about is the Akitas were also trained to hunt people on the battlefield. If you were a samurai officer or lord and you had an Akita, they would very frequently go to battle with you. That loyalty they had, one, was fantastic because they would stand guard against your assassins, the sneaky ninja that would come in and try to kill you in your sleep so that you couldn't command your troops and then their side could win. But if you had an Akita guarding your tent, they were much harder to fool.
Unless you have steak.
Or bacon.
Naya.
But they were also used actually in battle. The Akitas were trained to help you take out the officers on the other side.
You're such a good girl.
Well, how did they know who they were? Anybody actually watch some of the old samurai war epics or familiar with the Japanese samurai history at all? The officers used war fans. They were a decorative fan that was large enough that when they waved it, the troops from a distance could see what they were signaling them to do. So what you did was you taught the Akita that the guy waving his arms, holding something, was the one you wanted him to attack. You would turn them loose across the battlefield, they would run over, take that guy off his horse, and then there was no one to signal the other side with what to do.
Sorry. So if you see us wandering around the convention later this afternoon, please don't wave. And before you go, that really couldn't happen. During the 16th century, the average Japanese war horse, because we think about war horse like a European war horse, and in the 16th century, the average European war horse was 16 hands. The average Japanese war horse was 12 hands. That's not that much. I know you're going, oh, that's cute. Cute is not a feature in a war horse you want. You want big and scary. The war horse was only this big, and the Japanese warrior sitting on it weighed 120 pounds. This dog weighs 125. He's going over the horse and through you in one move, and then going on to his next toy because this one's broken.
You missed. He's like, that's too much work. There.
You have no idea how spoiled these dogs get. We used to work Ren fairs, and people would go buy those $7 bratwursts by the armload. I mean, they wouldn't buy their kids' food, but they would bring the dogs bratwurst, and by the end of the weekend, working the KC Ren Fair, she wouldn't even take it from you until after you took it out of the bun. She was that lazy.
That started with, I'll take it, then she'd set it down on the ground and eat the brat or hot dog out of the bun and just leave the bun. But it got bad enough she'd make you do it. I mentioned Princess, right? Come here. Good girl. She says, well, that was a cheat. You didn't have a treat in your hand. I didn't forget you. There you go. The other thing is Akitas tend to be very jealous of each other. You have to teach them very strong pack boundaries that you're the one in charge, but it's also best if you don't give one something and completely ignore the other.
Kind of like kids. They resent that.